Hey, this is Antonio. Welcome back to my channel, and we're going to have some fighting words. But before we go any further, I need for you to like this video and also please subscribe to my channel. So over the weekend, it was a return of Conor Benn, the Destroyer, and he did just that. He destroyed Chris Algieri. Knocked him out cold. I mean, it was something else. It was something dramatic. You know, I'm not going to say it's knockout of the year or anything like that, but Conor Benn continues to steamroll his opponents. Now, granted, he's not facing top-notch competition. I mean, he just fought Chris Algieri, 37, and definitely on his way out. And, you know, by the way he looked, maybe he should have not have been in that ring, to be honest with you. You know, when I think about Conor Benn, I don't know. I just feel like he's like the odd man out. You know, everybody's talking about Jaron Ennis and, you know, Victor Ortiz, and just all these guys, and it's just like nobody's talking about Conor Benn. Nobody's calling his name out at the party. And, you know, even after the fight, he just looked frustrated. He looked, now let me just do a quick recap of the fight. He looked really good during the fight. One of my critiques with Conor Benn has always been that he was like just ready to go. And he would just kind of rush in. And as a result of that, he would be off balance a lot. And he would almost always overstep. He was very patient, which is something that I can see that they've been working on. And he looked good being patient. And now he sees that I can still get a knockout. I can still be myself, but I can set these things up, which is, you know, it's a good thing because now he's about to jump up in competition. However, he's still looking for like everything is a big punch. And it's like, dude, you're going to need more of a work rate in the ring, though. That's something else I think that they need to work on, you know, in his camp, that everything doesn't need to be a power punch. You know, everything doesn't, because he does tend to get a little winded as the rounds go on. Why? Because he's throwing all these big power punches. So I just think if they learn to give him proper shot selection, you know, what's worth throwing that power punch, what isn't, you know, or if you continue on the route that you're going, where you're pacing yourself, which is a good thing, and you're having more patience, which is a good thing. But if you still continue to throw big shots with everything you throw, now you don't throw a lot, and everything you throw is like 100%. So you better make sure, you know, you're doing something, because let's just say you end up going to a scorecard. It's not going to look too good for you in the end if you didn't do a whole lot during the round, and everything you threw was a power punch. So you got a little tired at the end of the round, you know. And normally, if you want to steal around, you steal around at the end of the round. You don't try to steal around in the beginning of the round. You steal it at the end. So that's still something that they need to work on. However, like I said, I don't really have any complaints about how he fought. He fought well. I mean, it wasn't like he was... I don't want to disrespect Chris Algieri, but let's just be honest. Conor Benn was never in any trouble. Chris Algieri does not pose any threat in terms of punching power. At best, you know, he can give him a really 37-year-old Chris Algieri can give 25-year-old Conor Benn right now, at this moment. What he gave him over the weekend was a really top-notch sparring match. You know, and I hope I'm not knocking him too bad, but like at this point in his career, you know, and Conor at the end of the fight, he's like, look what I just did to Chris Algieri. I'm like, dude, anybody in your division in like the top 7, 8 is going to do that to Chris Algieri. I hate to break it to you, but pretty much everybody from 1 to 9 is going to do that to Chris Algieri. Probably 1 to 10 is going to do that to Chris Algieri. He doesn't pose a threat. I'm sorry, he doesn't. He does not pose a threat. He, you know, like, and he's like, you know, Errol Spence didn't do this to him. No, Errol Spence didn't do it to him. But when he fought Errol Spence, he was a lot younger. He had a lot less wear and tear on his body. He wasn't taking 2 years off at a time and things of that nature. So you can't really, you know, and he tends to do this. He'll say, well, you know, look what I did to Melo. And Sean Porter didn't do him like that. No, but Sean Porter won every single round, hands down. And he boxed beautifully the entire time. Vermelo, I think, only won like one round or like, but for the most part was a punching bag for Sean Porter. So what really are we gauging? You know, he's talking about Adrian Granados. Adrian Granados is not known for knocking people out. And if you look at that fight, quite frankly, I wouldn't be mad if you two had a rematch because Adrian Granados was fully in the belief that he won that fight. So again, what are you saying? I do think Conor Benn has a lot of talent in the ring, and I think he has a lot of gifts, and I definitely think he has a lot to offer the welterweight division. It's hard because I just feel like he came in I don't want to say he came in at the wrong time, but I feel like, this is really premature for me to say, but I'm just going to throw it out there. I feel like he might be the Sean Porter of the young guns. You know, or he's just going to be that dude who's going to give you an extremely tough fight, and you're never going to look good facing him. But in terms of the top 5 of the young guns of the welterweight division, he's always going to come up second to those other guys. I'm sorry, you put him in there with Jaron Ennis, and Jaron Ennis will toy with somebody like Conor Benn. You know, and I hate to say it like that. I don't think he's ready for an Errol Spence, although he has mentioned his name. I don't think he's definitely not ready for a Terrence Crawford. Not the Terrence Crawford that just did what he did to Sean Porter. He's not ready for that dude. And I don't think he has anything in his arsenal to handle that guy. So I don't know where this puts you because I really don't know. I really don't know where this puts you. It was a great performance. I will definitely say that. I am a fan of Conor Benn, and I hope that comes across that way. But it's weird because there's so much talent in this division, and it's just like I don't know where he fits in, you know. And to me, he just looks like he's gonna be another Sean Porter, where guys will say, "Well, I fought Conor Benn, and you know nobody did Conor Benn what I did." You know, yeah, but Conor still won like 5 of those rounds easily. You know, so it's that thing where Sean Porter was like a gatekeeper. Like if you want to gauge how tough you were and you want to gauge where you were in the welterweight division, you kind of had to go through Sean Porter. You know, it wasn't like Keith Thurman was around the fight. You know, like so you had to go through Sean Porter. And Sean Porter, nobody wanted to fight because they knew what kind of fight that was going to be. It was going to be tough. It was going to be grueling. It was just not going to be a pretty fight. It was going to be hard. It was going to be a true test. And I think Conor Benn is the same way. Do I think he's as athletic as Jaron Ennis? No. Do I think he's as knowledgeable as Jaron Ennis? No, I don't. But do I think he's going to give you a tough fight? Yes, I do. I think he's gonna push you. I believe he's going to do that. Is he a Victor Ortiz? I'm going to have to say no. I'm going to have to keep it real. I'm going to have to say no. I think he is definitely doing what he needs to do in the gym to get better. And I think the patience thing was like a huge thing for him. Now, so he keeps talking about how he wants to be mentioned amongst the upper echelon of the welterweight division, which he should. Absolutely, he should, because he is smoking the guys who's put in front of him. So I'm not knocking him on that front. But if you say you want to be mentioned amongst, like, you know, the Errol Spences and the Terrence Crawfords and the Jaron Ennises, what are you doing talking about I want the winner of Amir Khan and Kell Brook? Listen, I love Amir Khan, I love Kell Brook, but I want to see that fight because it's long overdue. I want to see that fight because they're two veterans. I don't want to see that fight because it gauges the landscape of the welterweight division. It doesn't. It doesn't change anything at the welterweight division. That fight doesn't do anything to or for the welterweight division. It doesn't. So why are you calling out the winner of that fight? That made no sense to me. Then they say, well, you know, Eddie Hearn mentions, well, you know, Adrian Broner said, you know, he'd be willing to fight, you know, sign with the zone. That's what he said. Adrian Broner fights at 140. So what is that going to prove? Unless you're going to pay Adrian Broner to get back up to 147, where he has proven not to be the most effective, what does that prove if you fight Adrian Broner? Win or lose, it doesn't really matter. What does it prove? It doesn't. If I'm Terrence Crawford, that doesn't make me like raise an antenna because you fought Adrian Broner. Like, that doesn't make me go, whoa, I need to pay attention to this guy. I need to watch out for this guy. Errol Spence is not gonna, shake in his sleep because you're fighting Adrian Broner, who is a 140 pounder, 135 pounder really, but 140 pounder now claiming. And then what? You're gonna bring him back up to 147, and then you're gonna have and I don't know if you could truly have your way with Adrian Broner. He's no walk in the park. I don't care what anybody says. A lot of people talk badly about Adrian Broner, but honestly, Conor Benn, I don't want to say he's tailor-made for an Adrian Broner, but that's a good fight on many levels. Is that a good fight? That's an amazing fight to watch. But I think Conor's weaknesses play into Adrian Broner's strengths. Like right now, one of Adrian Broner's weaknesses is he doesn't throw a lot of punches. Well, with Conor Benn, he doesn't have to throw a lot of punches. Conor Benn, there's a lot of stalking going on. Conor Benn, there's a lot of big punches. Adrian Broner definitely has faster hands than Conor Benn. He definitely has better instinct than Conor Benn. And he definitely has more experience than Conor Benn. You're talking about somebody who fought Sean Porter. You're talking about somebody who fought Manny Pacquiao. Like, are you serious? I mean, but still, does it really matter or make a difference? You can't scream that I want the upper echelon of the welterweight division to pay attention to me, and then fight a 140 pounder, and then fight, or possibly fight, the winner of Khan versus Brook. No. Listen, you need to call out one of these other young guns, because the reality is, Jerron Ennis is just going to be the name that's going to keep popping up as time goes on. I know it's very dangerous, but maybe him and his team, Eddie Hearn, they should all sit down and say, listen, I know it's dangerous. What do you think about us trying to knock off one of the young guns? We're definitely trying to build your name in America. What can build your name in America really quick? If you knock off one of the young guns. That would build your name in America. That would just make everybody stop for a moment and go, okay, my bad. We haven't been paying attention to you, but we are now. We are now, okay? And you're here now. You definitely have solidified yourself in this division because you just knocked off one of the young guns. Not because you knocked off Amir Khan or Kell Brook. Not because you knocked off Adrian Broner, who realized he had zero success at 147 and went back down to 140. That's not the way to go. That's not the way to go. I don't want to see that happen. I want to see him because they're going to be good fights. But I don't want to see that and then watch Conor Benn get frustrated again at the end of the fight because he feels like he did something that nobody else did. I don't think it's the hardest thing in the world right now if you're like top 5, honestly, to beat Adrian Broner. Because now you have to ask, is he even going to be in shape? Is he even going to make the weight? Is he even going to be mentally in the room? Who knows? You talk about Khan and Kell Brook. I'm sorry, but Kell Brook is damaged. He is. He's damaged. It is what it is. He's a great guy and a great fighter, but he's damaged. It is what it is. Khan, great fighter, but, and quite frankly, I think if Khan can keep his composure, I think he would have his way with Conor Benn, even right now, to be honest with you. But he does run the risk of being clipped by Conor Benn, but that still doesn't say anything because we all know that he has a glass jaw, so it still doesn't say anything if Conor snipes him. But I'm curious to see what you all think about this, because I really don't know. My personal opinion is, Conor, you go after one of the young guns. If you really want some attention, if you really want to be recognized in this division, you need to go after one of those young guys. Somebody your age, somebody on the come up, just like you. But those are my thoughts. I want to hear what you have to say down below. And as always, please like, please subscribe.